Hey guys, it's Mr. Chu, and here's what you're going to learn today. By the end of this video, you should be able to identify key features of a function given a table, graph, and/or equation. We're first going to focus on finding intercepts, mainly the x-intercepts of a graph and a y-intercept of a graph. X-intercepts of the graph are coordinates where your graph crosses the x-axis. Y-intercepts are where your graph crosses the y-axis. So we're given multiple representations, and we're first going to start with this graph. To find the x-intercepts, we want to locate where your graph touches or crosses the x-axis. Now, if you don't recall, the x-axis is the axis that goes left to right. The y-axis goes top to bottom. So if we're looking for the x-intercepts, again, where your graph crosses the x-axis, we're looking for intersection points. And we have one here, another one here, and a third one right here. Now the x-intercepts we're writing as coordinates, so the three coordinates that we have are -4, 0. We also have -3, 0. And lastly, we have 1, 0. Now for the y-intercept, we're looking for where your graph crosses the y-axis. And we have a point right here. The coordinate 0, -12. Now here are some interesting things about x-intercepts. X-intercepts are when y is equal to 0. For y-intercepts, we're looking for when x is equal to 0. That's actually going to help us with our table. We want to focus on where the y value is equal to 0. So we have a point right here. We have another point right here. And we have a third point right here. These three coordinates are going to be your x-intercepts. So we have -5, 0, 1, 0, and 3, 0. As far as y-intercepts go, we're looking for when x is equal to 0. So we have one point at 0, 90. So that was a graph and a table. But now let's look at an equation. Now we're going to keep in mind that the y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So we're looking for f of 0. We want to plug 0 in for x. So we have 0 squared minus 3 times 0 minus 28. So we get 0 minus 0 minus 28, which is -28. So your y-intercept in this case is going to be 0, -28. As far as x-intercepts go, we want to take our function and solve it. One way that I suggest solving is by factoring. So starting with a times c, which is 1 times -28, which is -28. And we're looking for two numbers that multiply to get to -28 that add up to -3. So we have 1 and -28, 2 and -14, 4 and -7, which is the one that works. From here, let's start solve by factoring. We have x squared plus 4x minus 7x minus 28. Now on the left side, we're going to look at a group, and on the right side, we're going to look at a group. Now on the left side, there's a common term. We can factor out an x. So we'll have x plus 4. And on the right side, let's factor out a -7. So we have x plus 4. Now we have this common term, x plus 4, that we can factor out. And all that's left is going to be x minus 7 as your other factor. Now we're going to take this factoring one step further. We're going to look at each individual factor and solve it for 0. So in this case, we get -4. That means that one of our x-intercepts is at -4, 0. We're going to take our other factor and solve it for 0 as well. In this case, we get positive 7. So our other x-intercept is going to be at 7, 0. Now we're asked to sketch our own graph, so yours might look a little different than mine. We're given 3 x-intercepts and 1 y-intercept. So the first thing that I'm going to do is plot these x-intercepts. So at negative 1, 0, we have 1. At 3, 0, we have another. And at 6, 0, we have a third x-intercept. Our y-intercept is at 0, 7. So we want to make sure our graph crosses the 3 x-intercepts and the y-intercept. Now your graph can look however it wants. I'm going to make mine like this. And that's it. By the end of this video, you should be able to identify key features of a function given a table, graph, and or equation. Of the x-axis and your curve. So we have 3 in this case.
And that's it. Is that it?
It's not it. To the coordinates of these exit.
And that's it.